After 2 weeks of pregnancy, that was when it all started. I started bleeding in my hair. Then I couldn't stand any smell whatsoever. So after marriage, we should have actually taken our time, to spend some time together before getting pregnant. But thank God anyway. So we got pregnant and we bought a pregnancy kit test. We did the test and the result was positive. So we spoke to one of our uncles as in the medical line, and I was like, being the first child, you have to register with General Hospital, this and that. So they're like, okay, let's go. So we got there, and after the registration and everything, he said we should go for scan. And when I got to the scan, and the guy was like, there's no baby, it's fibroid. And I'm like, you have fibroid? He said, no, I'm a man, I don't have fibroid. I said, oh, sorry. I said, okay, no problem. I got the results back to the doctor, and he said, okay, we should go to somewhere else to do the scan, which was Okpebi. So on my way home, I was just thinking, the blood of Jesus set me free. We got home, I told my husband, we prayed, we took communion, we went for the other scan, and the doctor was like, okay, there's baby and there's fibroid. I said, okay, no problem. We went back home, started taking communion, and we started praying. And that was the end of fibroid from then to 9 months. So after 2 weeks of pregnancy, that was when it all started. Then I couldn't stand any smell whatsoever. Perfume, soap, food, no smell at all. So if I have to eat, I have to be in the room while they prepare the food and bring it for me to eat. And my sister was with us then. If she's bathing in her whole room, I already know. I said, Allah is bathing. My husband was like, how did you know? So I can smell the soap. I'd be like, what? And I remember then that we bought about 10 to 15 soaps before I could pick one that we can all use in the house. Even him, he stopped perfume, deodorant, hair cream, nothing. And when we sleep, I'll be like, babe, your head is smelling. He'll be like, how will my head be smelling? My head is not smelling. I say, it is. And for almost 3 months, we were battling with that. If I have to go to work, I will have to take a bus and sit by the window side. So which means I have to use extra time at the bus stop before I could get any bus to sit at the window side because of odor and smell of perfume and anything. I don't like the fact that I have to wake up as early as 5:30 to be on the road because I'm going for antenatal. And most times, I will have to pay the workers there to write my name. So because whenever you get there, if you get there at 6 o'clock, you already meet about 40 people. So I'll have to pay for them to write my name down a day before the antenatal. So I won't have to sleep there. So when I get there, I will still be like number 50 or 51, and I will just sit. And throughout that day, I won't be able to do anything because I'll be getting home around 3 or 4, most times from 6 a.m. And then, even the doctors, before you get to see a doctor, they change doctors every now. The doctor you see yesterday is not the one you are going to see today. And they'll be like, sometimes they'll say, there's no tape rule to measure my tummy, so I usually go with tape rule. There's this sound they use for baby's heartbeat. They don't have it most times. And it just kept going. And during that time, there was a period that I couldn't stand on my feet for like 3 days. And my husband took me there, we complained, and they said, it's normal, it will go, it's normal, it will go. And I'm like, it's normal, it will go. Okay. We went back home. I couldn't go to work for I think a week. And there's another of my uncle that said, why not go to Amma now? There's this small clinic in our area. And I said, why not go to Amma? I'm like, Amma, since something that General Hospital cannot. I said, okay, let's go. And we got there, and the man said, no, it doesn't make any sense for you to come to the clinic and go home like this. And he mentioned this particular injection that he's going to give me that is going to give me, and that is going to work for the lower part of my body. My husband Googled it, called one of our pharmacist friends, and said, yeah, the injection is good to go, this and that. And the man gave me the injection, and I actually walked back home with my leg. I walked, he was driving, I said, go, let me see if the injection will work. And I walked back home, and I'm like, okay. So after 3 months, then the chakra started, makeup, this and that. I was full of life and all that. So by, I think, 5 months, I started bleeding in my hair. Not serious bleeding, really, but we were so concerned because we don't know. So we called my mom, and she's like, yeah, some people bleed probably in the nose or ears when they are pregnant. We called my mother-in-law, she said the same thing. And my husband was like, me, I don't know this one, no. Maybe we should go to the clinic. I said, okay, let's go. We went there, and the doctor was like, okay, you have to go to Ikeja, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, okay, no problem. So we went to Ikeja. That day, my husband had a meeting, so he dropped me and went for his meeting. And we saw the doctor, and they came with all the student doctor, and they were using my hair as case study and all that. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? They said they are going to do suctioning also. I said, okay, no problem. I paid the bills and all that. Meanwhile, there's this particular pipe they are supposed to use. Then I discovered that they are trying to cut the pipe, and I'm like, why are you cutting the pipe? Are you supposed to cut it? They said they don't have the perfect size for my hair, so they are, and I'm like, can't we get it elsewhere? Why must you cut what you're supposed to? They said, no, it's fine, there is nothing. I said, okay, I'm just being concerned, no problem. And they did the suctioning, I think it's a vacuum machine, and they are trying to bring something that is not there out, even on the other ear. And I just, let me say, I went deaf or something for that time. And they're like, nothing is there, that they can't find anything. I said, okay. But I couldn't hear anything. I shall know I'm going to my office, radio bus stop, Alabusa. I know where to take bus to Secretariat. So I walked down to Ikeja. I was just telling the conductor, radio bus stop, because I can't hear anything, radio bus stop, radio bus stop. So I got to my office, and my boss was talking to me, and I'm writing back. I was like, what's happening here? And I told her, okay, I went for Ikeja to do something. He said, no, they have to just call my husband, this and that, and we went home. So we were there, I was feeling pain, the blood was even coming out. Even the hair that was not affected was now bleeding. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? So we now said, okay, let's go to that clinic now. That's other one that we went when I was having. So we just went there. And the man was like, and he checked, and he was like, these people, they're not supposed to do this suctioning thing now. It's just to clean the ear. And he said, okay, go and get, he told my husband to go and get a particular serum. And we got that for 700, and we applied it for 3 days, and that was the end. I was going for antenatal in the man's clinic. So he was the one educating us about the child growing, even drugs. It was the man that gave me drugs to use. When I got there, they just asked, what drugs are you using? I told them, and I said, okay. They didn't even prescribe drugs or anything. I said, okay, no problem. So we started going to the man. So the man was educating us about the baby's growth and all that. And he said, this baby is getting too big. And that is problem. So he asked, what I eat? I said, I'm not eating anything. No, I eat vegetables and fruits and all that. And thank God that my mother-in-law actually told us that they are usually big in their family in time of birth or so. So that has helped me to actually buy some baby clothes that are bigger and all that. So the man said, well, at this stage, what you are going to do, he said I should get, I think, this pure cocoa, and I was taking it over time. And my uncle was complaining that we don't go for antenatal, this and that. I said, okay, just to satisfy him, I will just go, but I will just go just to please him, and probably he's talking about professional consultants and all that. So we just go. And every time I ask, how is the baby? Is the weight okay? I say, it's fine, this and that, it's okay. And this other man was telling us that the baby is getting too big. So I told the man, I said, but they are telling me that the baby is fine, that the weight is okay. And the man said, you know what, that he has worked with in general hospital, and the thing is, they don't give you people time to be in labor yourself. Once you get there, they discover that the baby is big, you are going for CS straight. There's no caution about what you eat or how you take care of the baby or the weight or whatever. He said, okay, no problem. So we started using the man. So when I am to deliver, we now went to a clinic around us. And I think that was, close to 9 months. Before then, I remember that there's a neighbor of ours that she's a celeb woman, you know. And when I'm coming, fine, I do smell whatever they are cooking. I'll be like, mommy, you are cooking chicken. I'll be saying, this your nose, Seth. I said, it's not me, it's the pregnancy, it's the pregnancy. I said, should I bring you some? I said, no, I'm fine. I don't need anything. And I remember there's a day that she brought this water to my staircase to bathe with it, that she had a dream, this and that. And the water was like Zobo color. And I'm like, what for? She said, she saw something in her dream. I said, okay, don't worry. I poured the water away. And she actually told me to my face that she knew from the one that I was pregnant, this and that, she knows it's a boy. And she was just saying all sort of things. And I'll be like, hey, so pregnancy is safe. You will still face another challenges from neighbors or from people or any other place. And I would just tell her that, don't worry, I don't need it. She will go to my husband and say, she saw blood, this and that, as in prophesying all sort of things. I will be like, nothing is going to happen to us. Thank you, don't worry. So then I was still going to work, and I remember there was a day I was so in need of party jollof rice. And I called my husband that, babe, I need party jollof rice. I was like, when do you want me to get party jollof rice? Today is Tuesday. I said, you have to look for it though. He said, where will I get such thing from? I said, okay. I remember there's a woman in Alade. So I called people I know in Alade that, what about that woman now selling that party jollof rice? I said, she's no longer there. Please, where is she? I'm looking for her. And they gave me the address. And I called my husband that, it's also address. I sent it to him. And he told the office assistant, he went to get the party jollof rice, brought it to my office, and I ate, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. It was like I've been starving for a long time. And I actually ate that party jollof rice, and I was so satisfied. So the day to deliver, we were told that if some cause or blood or whatever, so we went to the clinic. And from morning, I was there till evening, and they had to say, okay, I should go home and be exercising myself. So I'll be going through the staircase, coming down, doing it with my husband. He was following me all around, so I'll go, come down. Then when it was around 10, we went back to the clinic. I was there till around 12. They checked and they said, wow, that's the clinic around. They said they can't deliver the baby, that the baby is too big. I'm like, wow. Even after taking pure cocoa every day, morning, afternoon, night, and all that, said the baby is too big. He said, okay, what do we do? He said, okay, did you register in General Hospital? We said, yes. I said, we should go to General Hospital. I'm like, oh, God, no. Where's she going? So we left. That was around, we got there around 1. And we got there, nurses, they started abusing me. You don't be coming for antenatal, blah, blah, blah. They were just saying those sort of things. So what we did was just call my uncle, and he now spoke with them. That was when they stopped abusing me. So the labor started, and I'm to bring everything. They will be calling the names of the things I'm to bring from the bag while in labor. So I will have to bend down, bring it. They will call another one. I'll bend down, I'll bring it. They will call another one. I'm like, can't anybody help me? They said, no, it's only me. And they didn't allow anybody to come in, not my husband, nobody. So after doing all those things, I was there. And my water didn't, the baby's water didn't get boiled, so they had to call a doctor to come and burst the water. And after, I was induced, and induced the first time and the second time, even after paying, I think we paid, what is it called? We paid for, you have to pay a particular percentage out of the delivery while going for antenatal. So we've done all that. We paid for all what we needed to pay for. So we were there, I was in labor, my husband was outside. You see, the nurse would come in and say, ah, you are here. I used to say it in Yoruba, really. Say, ah, you by Loba. You will look Kanita that my husband is reading outside. And I'm like, what do you want him to do? And they'll be like, oh. And I'm like, okay. Another one will just come. Ah, your husband is just clinical. I'm the one in labor. What do you want him to do? To be running out? You guys didn't allow him to come inside and all that. I was just there. And I was calling them to come and check on me. And I think a particular time, I was really feeling that the baby was coming out. And I was calling them, they're like, Shebi, we just checked. The baby is not coming out, this and that. And I'm like, please, come and check now. I was even pleading. And they came to check, and it was time. So they had to quickly rush, blah, blah, they rushed me to the labor room, and they have to cut me for the baby to come out. And after the baby was out, they weighed the baby and it was 4.2. And the woman was like, wow, if she had known, she wouldn't have let me have it as a normal birth. That is too dangerous. And I'm like, thank God. So they had to stitch me, no pain relief, nothing. And while they were stitching me, the light went off. And I was in serious pain. And my husband he didn't actually know what was going on. He just rushed to the car to bring torchlight, because he always had torchlight in the car, and he went to bring torchlight. And they had to wait for the torchlight to continue the stitching. And after then, they said no space in the ward, that I have to be in the labor room till there's space. I said, okay. So I was on, I think the bed is about probably 2 by 5, like this student's bed, small bed, with the baby and with my bag. They said I can't put my bag on the floor, so I have to put it on the bed. So the bag was like this, I was there, the baby was there. And if I had to get anything, either tea, I had lost a lot of blood, and to even go out and get something, nobody could come inside. I have to go outside and get whatever I need. So I'll have to, use my hand to trace the wall, just struggle out to get tea and come back inside. I gave birth on Friday, April 21st, 2017. And, I gave birth 6:35, and I was there till 6 p.m. in the evening without having my bath, because there's no space in the wall. So I was there, and when it was 6 p.m., they said, okay, there's space now, you can come. We went, and even inside the ward, they won't allow anybody to come in. And I was just there with myself and the baby. They are baby beds, but was packed in one corner. Nobody is using it. So you have to be on the bed with the baby. So I was there with the baby, and I have to take my bath. And I went to the bedroom, and I'm like, oh no, I can't beat here. There was blood all over the place. It wasn't cleaned. And right there, I was feeling, I can't describe how I was feeling. I just went back and I picked my phone. I'm like, babe, this place is not it. I said, okay, help me get, I asked them to get potty, buckets, all those things for me, and they got them for me. So I'll have to pee beside my bed and just take it to the toilet and close my eyes and just pour it away and go back to the bed. And when I have to bathe for that evening, oh God, the bathing was like maybe in less than a minute, because I couldn't stand that particular place. So I just went back. Fast forward to sleeping at night. All the nets, were damaged, AC are not working, fan are not working, and there were mosquitoes. I was just thanking God that we bought this baby bed with net. We've had, we bought that, and we're like, this is what we are going to use in the hospital, no matter if there's net or there's no net for the baby. And the baby slept in his bed, and I couldn't close my eyes, not for a minute, from that from that Friday morning till Saturday morning. Even at night, I couldn't close because there were mosquitoes, there was heat and everything. And we were like about 30 or 35 in the ward. And on Saturday morning, first thing I have to just call my husband that, babe, you have to get me out of this place, or else I will die. That I'm really feeling weak. I don't have any strength, nobody to attend to me. None of my family members are allowed to come in and everything. And he said, okay. So we had to talk to our uncle, and he said, they don't discharge on Saturday. And I was like, no, they will discharge this one. Today, we'll break the record. They will discharge on Saturday. And we are at it. Even if he wants to come in, they will tell him that there's visiting time. I'm the father of the child now. Can't I see my wife to even know how she's doing and all that? And they'll be like, no, you come visiting time. I think my sister and him, they came briefly for about 5 minutes, and the next day they're like, oh yeah, go out, you can't stay, this and that. And on Saturday morning, they had to bathe for the baby, and you still have to be the one to carry the water, carry the baby, and we'll be on a queue, follow the matron to the bathroom to bathe the baby. Even without strength and everything, I just have to carry the child, carry the water, the sponge and everything. And we'll queue, it's down the hall, so you have to walk down the hall. So we'll queue to the place, she will bathe the baby and give you back, and you go to your bed. And eventually, my husband was like, he met with the matron, and he's like, anything you guys can do, just do it. And they're like, okay, you pay us this and that. I said, no problem. Money is not the problem, we'll pay. And a particular doctor was saying, he needs to check. If I'm not okay, they will not allow me to go. And when he was coming, the nurses, out of the nurses, she came and said, see, forget that we collected money. If the man should come and he didn't, and you're doing like, see this thing, he will not allow you to go. This and I said, don't worry. And I just asked for strength. And when the man came, he said, madam, stand up. All the strength in my body. All the strength in my body. I stood up. I was like, are you okay? I said, very okay, sir. Even at the time, I was not seeing well. I said, very okay, sir. He said, are you sure? I said, very well, sir. You want to go home? I said, capital yes. He said, okay, no problem, you can sit. I said, thank you. So we were discharged that day, Saturday, and we came home. And people started coming, this and that, and I couldn't sleep. I wish people can just understand the fact that you've went through a lot of stress, let's leave her to sleep. They were just coming, and I couldn't sleep, and in fact, I was depressed. And they were just there. And another phase after delivery, when the baby when he was sucking, and all my nipple he peeled my nipple with his mouth, and I was in serious pain that you could see the inner part of my body. And whenever he wants to suck, I'll be crying, he'll be crying, as in serious cry. And at the point, my husband just like, you have to stop this breastfeeding, let's go and get him food. And the mother and everybody was saying, it's his mouth that will make the nipple heal. If it didn't suck, the nipple will not heal. We bought some drugs that we were using. We called our pharmacist friend, we bought some drugs and all that, but it wasn't healing. I said, it's his mouth that will heal him. He said, okay. So as he's sucking, whenever it's time to suck, I'll be crying. At the point I was expressing, and they were like, even if you express, it's not going to heal. It needs to suck it so that it will heal. Oh God. And whenever it's time for him to suck, I'll start crying, he'll start crying. As he's sucking, we'll be crying together. I'll be crying while he's sucking. And on the day of the naming, my husband was like, okay, how are we going to do the naming? I said, no naming whatsoever. No, they should just come, give the baby name, and everybody should go there. I'm the one here feeling pain. Everybody's talking about naming. I have to sit on hot water morning and night every day of my life. And the baby, whenever he wants to suck, I'll be crying. And you guys are talking about naming. No naming, let them just come, name the baby, and everybody should go. He said, no problem, anything you want. He said, okay. So we called a friend of ours, did snacks, and on the day of the naming, we were actually praying that the baby should not cry while the naming ceremony is going on. For me not to start crying because he wants to eat. And thank God he didn't cry. Immediately he was named, he started crying. I said, okay, let's go inside. And I was inside, I was crying, and he was crying, and we were there. While going through the pain of breastfeeding him, we were asked to get this particular cream. I can't remember the name. We bought the cream, and you can't apply it when the baby wants to suck. So you have to apply it after he's full. So whenever he wants to suck, you have to wash it off for him to suck. So we were doing that, and it wasn't healing. If I think it was getting serious, more serious, and they're like, you have to stop. Don't put anything. It will heal. It will heal. And I'm like, okay. We had no choice. I just had to start breastfeeding him and cry along. And I think after 2 weeks, it was healed without using anything any longer, because we had to stop. The more I used this, and they're like, you don't have to use all these things. It will heal up. Just let the baby suck and all that. I said, okay, no problem. So after 2 weeks, it was healed. And on the 9th day, they said circumcision. I said, oh, Jesus. So we have to go for circumcision. Before the circumcision, we went for the first, we went for his injection, the first one, and they were like, this baby, there's jaundice or this and that, we should go to General Hospital. This, and I said, me, General Hospital. I said, never. She said they would run some tests and all that. And when they were trying to run some tests, my mother-in-law was like, you go and stay with them while they were trying to get blood from the baby. And I'm like, I just gave birth now. You that have given birth to how many children? You asked me to go and stay there. I said, no, she cannot stay there. They're like, okay. So we went there, and they were trying all sort of to get blood. There was no vein because it was so big. And it's okay. There's jaundice. So a particular nurse there just said, you people are Yoruba now. You know, Mama, you should know what to use for this baby now. If you have to go to hospital now, they'll just put him in, they'll just put him under lights for God knows how many days. So my mother-in-law said, no problem. Thank you for reminding me that I am Yoruba. So we went home. She said, okay, let's get black pepper. We got the black pepper, and we bought glucose, and she soaked the pawpaw, I think from morning to evening. And whenever she wants to give the baby, she'll mix it with a bit of glucose and give the baby. And we're doing it morning, I think morning about 4 times in a day. And after 3 days, we went back and they said, no more jaundice. It's okay, thank God. I remember that there are days that we won't be able to sleep at night. My husband will carry him, I will carry him. Even my sister, in fact, she really tried for us. And we are just rotating it. Night after night, we were just rotating it. And thank God, by, I think, close to 3 months, the baby was so big and he was weighing about 15 kg or 17 kg that nobody could, even, it's just me and my sister and my husband. I will carry him. When I use carrier, I'll be feeling chest pain, back pain all over. And it was just the 3 of us. When my husband goes to work, it will be and I'll be, Ola, please, let me carry him now, please. And he'll be like, me too, I'm tired now. I'll be carrying him, on my chest is paining me. And it was just like that. Even when you are happy that you have a baby, you are still crying like, oh God. I mean, my husband would be like, if we had known, we would have waited a bit longer. We wouldn't have. I'd be like, well, no matter what, we'll still have him, Sha. But all of this, we thank God. And ever since, I think we've been advising people that when you get married, don't get pregnant quickly. Just give yourself at least 3 months or 6 months before you have baby, so that you guys will enjoy yourself a bit before the baby will come. Thank God for my husband. When I was going through depression, he really tried. He would search for books that I can read, messages. It was just helping me with that. He will talk. He will help me in any way that he can. Even my sister, they were just there for me. If not, I wouldn't have been out of the depression in months. In months, I wouldn't have been out of it. So they really tried for me, mostly my husband. So that is my story.